Very excited to bring on our next guest here, Robert Spencer, the director of Jihad Watch, because there's been an ethnic cleansing going on right now of Christians out of a region where Armenian Christians were living for a very long time. 120,000 of them are now being forced out of their homes. This region is called Artsakh. The Azerbaijani military opened up military operations against them last week, pushed them out. You can see the videos there. And because there's no financial interests for the United States, the government, no special interest groups really seem to care about this, you have over 100,000 Armenians being forced from their homes across the Caucasus Mountains. And yet we're told billions of dollars must go to Ukraine. And when we have Armenian Christians, not even a single eye gets batted. Robert Spencer, can you break down what is going on the ground right now in this situation? And why does it seem the U.S. government doesn't really seem to care?
Oh, it's even worse than that. The U.S. government does care, Jack, but it cares about the wrong side. The Biden regime has actually given military aid to Azerbaijan, which is completely the aggressor in this conflict, is pursuing what many are characterizing as a new Armenian genocide. This is not hyperbole. These people have been starved out by having the only road leading from Artsakh into Armenia proper, having blocked it for the last 9 months. And there has been no food, there has been no medicine, there has been practically nothing brought in to the people that have been starved out. Then on September 19th, the Azerbaijan military began operations, and this is why the people are now fleeing, and the road's been opened up so they can get out. That's what the idea was all along. This is an attempt to eradicate the Armenian exclave of Artsakh and eradicate a Christian presence that, as you noted, has been there since time immemorial. You have churches going back to the 4th century, the 3rd century in this area. This is an area that Armenians have populated as long as there have been human beings there. But now they are being forced out, and they're being forced out with the active help of the Biden regime.
Well, that's right. And this is the Armenia, of course, being the oldest Christian nation. And when we look at the situation here, I find it very interesting because there's a geopolitical nexus that Azerbaijan has exploited in this situation, because after the European Union put so many sanctions on Russia, really tried to cut off trade, who then stepped in to fill the gap for Russian oil, Russian natural gas? Azerbaijan has been right at the top of the list because of their liquid natural gas exports to the EU. So there's a massive energy interest and energy concern from Azerbaijan to the EU when it comes to this. Now, I don't know if we have a map up for this, because I'd love to be able to show, be able to do a map break here so people could understand that both of these areas, and right where everyone's looking right now, this road itself, this is right on the border with one of America's greatest geopolitical adversaries, Iran. Robert, what role is Iran playing here?
Ironically, Jack, Iran is actually on the side of Armenia because Azerbaijan has a significant minority in Iran. That is the Azerbaijanis are, I think, the largest non-Iranian, non-Persian ethnic group within Iran. And so the Iranian regime doesn't want those people to get ideas of uniting with the independent country of Azerbaijan. So they're one of the only countries helping Armenia. It's very topsy-turvy. In a sane world, the Armenians would be getting help from Russia instead of Russia aiding their adversaries. And Iran would be on the other side. But, the Armenians, they consider this to be a matter of you take help where you can get it. And that's perfectly understandable since they're essentially isolated in the entire world.
Right, and this certainly puts Iran and Turkey at loggerheads there, because, as we know, the Turks are no fans of the Armenians and continue to be against them. But at the same time, Russia has really pulled out of this region. We understand clearly they're really focused on Ukraine right now. They're very focused on Syria. So this is another reason that Azerbaijan has used all of that time to really strike this. But then we saw the Biden administration sent over Samantha Power to Armenia just this week, because this is a great example that I always say this from the Samantha Power, Victoria Nuland School of Foreign Policy, is you destabilize a region and then you sweep in with your vulture beaks. Robert, what are they up to there? What is she doing?
Well, she's just actually performing a cosmetic action to give the impression that the United States is even-handed in this. But the Armenians actually greeted her quite unkindly. They said, say something about the genocide that's going on. Say something honest about what's really happening, which, of course, Samantha Power did not do and would not do. The United States has essentially stabbed the Armenians in the back and left them to die. This is not going to be the end of the territorial demands from Azerbaijan. Once Artsakh is destroyed, they have already, Turkey and Azerbaijan, made new demands for territory so that they can have a corridor between Turkey and Azerbaijan that would reduce the size of what's left of Armenia. The idea is ultimately to have a Turkic Muslim mega state stretching from Turkey across Central Asia that encompasses Azerbaijan and goes all the way into Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. And Armenia is the only non-Muslim state in that whole band, that whole region. And so the Turks, the Azerbaijanis, and their friends and allies have determined to destroy it, and the world is turning a blind eye.
But at the same time, Robert, to your point, once again, it is the Christians of Armenia who catch the short stick. And then there's a massive story in Semaphore today about huge Iranian penetration of the Biden administration going all the way back to the Obama administration. Should we be concerned about that when we're looking at the geopolitics of this region?
Oh, of course, yeah. Because, I was speaking before about Armenia getting some help from Iran. That's decidedly limited. The Iranians would be perfectly happy to see Armenia destroyed in the longer term. They just are in a jockeying, in a competition with Azerbaijan as to who gets to do it ultimately. And so this is the empowering of the Iranian regime is only going to bring further instability to the whole region. This is a step-by-step effort to eradicate anything but a Muslim presence in this area. Artsakh is actually a Christian Armenian area that is within Azerbaijan proper in the southwest corner of the country. And it's as we've discussed, historically Armenian Christian. But the idea is to eradicate it entirely and then to eradicate Armenia entirely. And this is just in line with actually Erdogan's efforts to reestablish the Ottoman Empire. And he's only too happy to see all this happening and to give aid to the Azerbaijanis. He hopes ultimately to be able to take advantage of the destruction of Armenia himself.
The goal is the elimination of Christians in the region. Robert Spencer, where can people go to follow you to get more updates and more information?
Yeah, I'm at jihadwatch.org. We've got 2 lengthy explanatory articles up right today on Armenia and what's actually going on there. You're not going to find this information in the mainstream press, and I commend you, Jack, for being willing to talk about it. You're one of the few.
Well, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. And folks, it just goes to show you that you must always pay attention to what's going on in the world, but also what they aren't telling you about what's going on. Understand that when you are being led to be focused on one particular part of the world, you have to understand the geopolitical, the financial, and the special interests that are all driving at. 120,000 Christians being kicked out of their homes. The Biden administration and the media could care less.